So this movie's been getting mixed reactions. Either you like it or you hate it. Some people say it's the worst horror movie ever. Some people say it's a really great movie. I'm in the middle of it was pretty good, I guess. There are I can just say this over I can say this right now. The intro was really over the top. Over the top 80s feeling. It felt like multiple movies. This is by director James Wan, who directed Saw, The Conjuring, The Insidious, Dead Silence, and also Aquaman. Weirdly enough. But, yeah, this movie basically started because of abusive ex-boyfriend hitting his wife or girlfriend in the head. But, this character named Gabriel comes out, which is not the most sinister name to be called. But I do like his voice, and apparently he voiced some characters from animes and video games. Apparently he voiced Roy in the English version of Fire Emblem and Smash Brothers, because I looked it up after, because I wanted to know who the voice was, because he does a pretty good job. Time to cut out the cancer. But it went from being over the top, and then there were some predictable, horror movies that we like, jump scare, the lights are flickering, something's gonna happen, from being that to being what the hell. I can just say the police station / jail scene is easily the best part, and that it got better towards the end of the movie. It was like the intro and then some okay parts. I mean, like, the camera work was really well done, and the music, as over the top some of it can be, it was pretty good. And the characters, I didn't really care for the characters that much. Madison was an okay character. Sometimes I feel like her acting was a little over the top, even for me, with the screaming and then this 80s vibe music. And it reminds me, like, some of the movies it reminds me of The Ring, The Basket Case, trying to think of any other, like, movies around that time that it kind of reminded me of. But at first I thought the villain was going to look like freaking a Slipknot character, because it was hiding the face. And honestly, the kills, it went from being kind of lame to kind of cool at the end. So, and it was a psychological horror movie, kind of, and slight paranormal. And they have to throw in the retro. Even though 1993 is really not that old, it's as old as I am, but I feel like the movie definitely is worth seeing, and I would say it's a 7 out of 10. It's not the greatest horror movie, it's not the worst horror movie ever, but it was a much better horror movie in recent years, because you know how some horror movies are lately. I'm glad that it went from being kind of predictable, or with the jump scares and the storyline, to being like, what the hell? Like, the plot twist. And I was like, oh, okay. Towards the end, I enjoyed it a lot more than when the first half. I think the second half was much better. I feel like the weak points are some of the characters and the over-the-top acting. I mean, I don't mind bad acting in a horror movie, really, because that kind of makes it better. If at least the movie was entertaining. If your movie is flat out boring and nothing's happening, you failed me as a horror. You failed me as a horror movie. Like the Paranormal Activity movies and the Blair Witch, those movies they're boring. But this movie was definitely entertaining in the second half more than the first half, except for the intro. The intro was very over the top. It felt like 80s early, like it felt very 80s. But definitely go see this movie. It's not doing so great at the box office. It's, I don't know, if you like over the top stuff, then you'd probably like it. If you don't, you might not like it. If you, I don't know, I found it enjoyable enough to at least go see it. I only paid like $5 for it anyway, but I think it was worth seeing.